What's up, hunters? This is Johnny Darko with another Monster Hunter World tutorial. Today we're going to go over a Zenny farming technique, and it's just one of many. This is one that utilizes the Great Jagras and the Bandit Mantle. I'm going to run you through a way to make some quick dough in a very, very short period of time as soon as you step into high rank. So what we're going to do is show you my loadout. I'm using the Decimation Claws. It's a dual blade setup because what you want to do when you're using the Bandit Mantle is you want to get a lot of hits, because every hit, the more hits you get, the more gold drops you're going to get out of the monster, and then you're going to be able to sell those back at the merchant. Along with that, we're using an Attack Charm 3 and the Bandit Mantle, as I mentioned. We're just using the Draken set. And then as far as my decorations go, we have Attack Boost and Critical Eye maxed out. And then also Critical Boost, Slugger, some Weakness Exploit, as you notice. Actually, let me move this camera. There you go. You can see it a little bit better there. So, as I was mentioning, Attack Boost and Critical Eye, Critical Boost all maxed out. You just want to hit hard. You want to hit hard and fast. So, you can also use the Heavy Bowgun as well, but we're going to be using the dual blades in this technique. And then also you want to have a loadout for your items. As you notice, I have a lot of different loadouts for a whole bunch of different scenarios. And this one is going to be a simple capture. So we'll just use this loadout. We have a ton of stuff here that we're not going to use. There's a honey that we're going to grab on the way up, so we're going to dump the honey too. And what we're going to do is we're going to sell the drops we get from the Bandit Mantle to this guy, the Provisions Stockpile. And if you haven't been here to sell items before, this is the way to get to your item box. And you can sort these. You go over to the monster materials, sort items, and then on usually like the last page, you're going to have large scale, beautiful scale, and you're going to notice where it says trade-in item. That means those items can't be used for crafting anything. So they're strictly to be sold. So you can go ahead and sell all of these, and we'll empty this out so you can see how much I get from my run. And you have a bunch of other materials here that you can go ahead and sell. I usually sell everything that's over 40. It's just a way for me to keep my inventory clean and my money rolling. And it took me a while to find out where all my materials were. That's the only spot in the whole game that you can see where all your materials are. So we're going to go over to the quest board, and we're going to load up a Great Jagras quest investigation. Here we go. We have a two silver box investigation here. It doesn't really much matter. We're going to start at the southwest camp, and the reason for that is the Great Jagras always spawns in the same spot, and that's why this is a very easy farming method. You know, for all my farming methods, I like them to be like brainless and 100%. You know, no problems that could arise, that I can just chill out, kick my feet up, and just farm. So we're going to eat for attack, and an easy way to do that is just eat the meat skill. And we're going to get Feline Provoker, which I don't particularly like, but, you know, whatever. We're going to do so much damage with these dual blades, it's not going to matter. And another thing, if you hit the options button during the animation of the chef, you can cut through it. It took me a long time to figure that out. And it was definitely a relief when I did. So we're going to go ahead and load in, and we're going to sprint towards the Great Jagras. This is good for farming a good amount of Zenny if you ever want to, you know, you're new to high rank, or you're in the mid, you know, I'm going to say up to level 100 in high rank. Once you can start farming the elder monsters pretty consistently, and maybe you're going crown hunting, you're just going to stack up so much material from them that it makes this technique a little obsolete, but it's definitely going to get you through a good hurdle of the game. So now we're just going to sprint right towards where the Great Jagras is. There's a few things on the way that you can grab. There's some footprints. If you want to get some more investigations, you can see I just got an investigation. Don't follow your scout flies. They will lead you in the wrong direction. There's also a couple of herbs and a honey on the way up. You just want to scroll over to your Bandit Mantle. Oops. scroll over to the bandit mantle. And then he's always just around this corner. Throw that on, and then go to your shock trap. Put it down right here. And as soon as he pops up over this shelf, you go ahead and load up your dual blades and hit him right in the face. And you're going to see 60s, 30s. There's a 72. You hit him really hard with this setup. You don't have to obviously hit him this hard, but with the bandit mantle on, you're getting a lot of gold drops. You can see they're down there, and you don't really want to kill him, even though it could happen, in a blink of an eye with the amount of damage we're doing. What you want to do is you really want to focus on trying to get him to pop the skull, and then when that pops, let him run back to his lair. And then in the meantime, just pick up all those gold drops. And he's pretty much dead now. There's not much left to him, so we gotta be careful. I mean, if you do kill him, you still have. See, he died. We didn't mean to do that, but we still have 60 seconds to pick up all those gold drops. Not ideal, but with this setup, it just does so much damage that they didn't even pop up with the skull. And you notice the piercing pods that drop are really annoying because you pick them up every other time. You can try to throw them outside of where you're farming all your Great Jagras material, and you can see how much we're picking up off the ground. You can also do this with a friend and have both of you load in. Heavy bowgun works if you just gonna flip over to the full automatic ammo that you get with that, and just unload in his face on a pitfall trap. But I carve them up too. You see we're missing just one more here. The feline provoker is really getting these guys mad at us. There's one down there too. There we go. Oh, we left one. So we're gonna go back to camp, and that didn't take much time at all. A very quick farm. A minute 39. So there's two things you can do. You can save some of these. The Great Jagras, I believe it's the main. You can trade in the Elder Melder for like Mega Demon Drug and that kind of stuff. Or you can just sell everything. I usually just take the decos and the armor spheres and just sell all. We're going to get 15,970 Zenny for the quest rewards. We'll sell those. We got a deco. Fortify. And we get 4,500 for the quest. And then you'll see when we go back to the merchant in Astera, you'll see how much money we get from him as well, from the sales of those drops. And like I said, you can do this. You just keep picking up the tracks. You keep getting investigations, and it's a real simple route because he always spawns in the same spot. You just run over there, throw on your bandit mantle, strap him in an electric trap, and then you can even load into another one if you go back to camp here. If you have like 5 investigations, first of all, I go to my tree, make sure that it's all fertilized, and that it's going to be going for at least 5 investigations. I pop in the tent here and just quickly switch out my items. So I go to my loadout, simple capture, and that switches everything back. And then I go over and eat at the canteen right here. And then she'll give you your new quest at the handler. And then you can just load back in without having to go back to Astera. But we're going to go back to Astera and show you what we were able to get from that haul. And as you notice, it took what? It was a minute 30. The load-in times are what really takes the longest. And that's why if you don't go back to Astera between quests, you can just stay there and just farm them. But just make sure that your research tree doesn't go dry, because that always is a bummer. You get back and all your hard work that you've been putting into it is gone. So I think that if I switch out my SSD card on my PlayStation, it'll load quicker. Because honestly, these load screens are the longest part of the farm, I think. So we got 15,900 Zenny for selling the quest rewards. And then we'll see what we get. And then we got 4,000 for the quest itself. And then you just go up to this guy and sell from item box, and then you want to sort, R3 to auto sort, and you just flip over and you see we got 9 large scale, that's 9,000 Zenny, and then we got 4 beautiful scale, that's 8,000 Zenny. So we got 15,000 for the quest rewards, we got 4,000 for the finishing the quest, that's 19,000, and then we got 9,000 for the other scales, that's 19 plus 9 is 28,000, plus 8,000 for these, that's 37,000. So 37,000 for a few minutes of work, and then you can just put this on auto repeat, and as much investigations as you have, you just run through them, and whenever I get a Great Jagras investigation, this is how I end up finishing it up. Instead of deleting them, even if they're bad bronze investigations, normally you delete those and just keep the ones that are gold and silver boxes or tempered. But the Great Jagras ones I keep, and I just spend some time farming. If you really want to maximize these, you go to the resource center, and if you have the right investigations for ancient forest, for I think he's fanged wyvern, is that right? Let's double check. Yeah, fanged wyvern. So if you have fanged wyvern captures or kills in the ancient forest investigations as well, on top of that, that's really the best way to maximize this farming technique. So just save them up, and then just spend a half hour or so running through them. Make sure that your tree doesn't go dry. And what I mean by that is, this guy, you have it stacked up with the different fertilizers, and the count number on the right, if it gets down to 0, it goes away. So you gotta make sure that you just throw in some. I just use some soft soil. And then you don't have to worry, it's maxed out at 9. I can go and do 7 or 8 investigations, and I don't have to worry about that, running out. So there you have it. That's my Great Jagras Zenny farm. And if you have any pointers or tips or tricks to make this even easier, or a different method as well, I know there's a lot of them farming elders and stuff like that, but this I think is good for someone who just joined high ranks and needs some quick cash. I'm Johnny Darko. This is another Monster Hunter World tutorial, and we'll see you next time.